Hey everybody, Jake Reichbart here. Today I'm going to share with you a lengthy lesson excerpt. So have your guitars ready and we're going to have some fun together arranging a song. Perhaps you've seen some of my many hundreds of solo guitar arrangements I have here on YouTube, and the inspiration for these arrangements is right here behind me, as you can see. I grew up with these vinyls, and I draw pretty much from any kind of style imaginable from the pop music of the past 100 years, everything from Glenn Miller to Van Halen, Alan Holdsworth to Motown, and pretty much anything in between. Beatles, I have perhaps 25 Beatles song arrangements, 20 Steely Dan song arrangements, same for Stevie Wonder, rock, hard rock, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and of course tons and tons of classic jazz standards from the 40s and 50s, bebop, dance tunes, movie themes. And if you want to learn how to arrange any of these songs for solo guitar, I can teach you. Just like the excerpt that you're about to watch, which comes from a lesson that runs about 90 minutes, I have nearly 200 additional titles, and they are mostly song specific. I enjoy teaching through specific songs because I can show you hands-on how I approach arranging a song. What's nice about these lessons is that I don't just tell you, do this and you're done, but rather I'll take you through 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to play the same passage. I'll work with you on dynamics, on articulation, and 100 other things that you cannot just put to paper. As I mentioned, these lessons run approximately 90 minutes. The introduction, which runs usually 15 minutes, focuses on the right hand and rhythm, and in this introduction I go through my 3 pillars of rhythmic arranging, the first principle being melody and bass only, the second being rhythmic arpeggiation, and the third, of course, the down stroke that I play with my right hand fingernails to produce that backbeat that everybody asks me about. Nevertheless, I do have 2 main method lessons. The first one, how to arrange any song for solo guitar, running 2 hours, and also an introduction to fingerstyle guitar and solo guitar arranging, running 2 hours and 40 minutes. The information about these lessons, the cost, my full lesson list, as well as a link to the full performance of the song that we're working on today is below in the information. So expand the information, take a look, and let's get started. Now when I play this B, that's the downbeat of the rhythm. And these are pickup notes. So F sharp on the 4th string, 4th fret, twice, hammer on to the G sharp, and then I play the B on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And when I hit that B, and like I said, that's the 1. That's beat number 1 of the first measure of when the rhythm comes in of the song. And I try to imitate that little humming melody that he does. That thing right there. And I do so by playing, I don't even play anything on the 4th string, I think. By playing this B major 7. And rhythmically, that's the 1 of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the 2nd quarter note, I play these notes, the B, with the A sharp now on the 3rd string, 3rd fret, D sharp on the 2nd string, 4th fret, that's my melody. The next quarter note simply has me remove the A sharp, turn into an A natural, and that is the process whereby the major 7th of the B becomes the 7th of the B. Then I proceed to get these melody notes. After I hit the D sharp, slide it up to an E, and then add the F sharp on the 1st string, 2nd fret. And the first melody note, and the first beat, in fact, of the next measure, which is the E chord, is with that melody note, which is the open B. And that's a guitar trick a little bit, or let's say my trick. See, I hit this first, not because musically it's the best thing necessarily, although it works, but because I didn't really have time, or maybe I'm too lazy to get to the next chord with right on time to hit it on the first beat of this measure. So I just hit this, then add the remaining notes. And I think it works musically as well, because we don't have to hear a full chord all the time. And that's the melody note for the entire measure of the E. Now you're seeing me play a different kind of E here. First I just played this one, just because you're probably familiar with this shape. But as a matter of color, I took this E note on the 4th string 2nd fret and moved it up to the F sharp, thereby creating the effect of an add 9th, which is a very beautiful consonant sound to my ears. I really like it. Rhythmically speaking, you'll notice that I'm already doing a lot of arpeggiating here. Especially during this bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Again, that's because the way I feel things, the way I feel the rhythm, that's that rhythm that's cooking, as it were, below the surface. And indeed, later on, we'll see this, that it's in full force, you know, when the band comes in. But even now, I'm kind of hinting it a little bit. So that's halfway through the instrumental introduction. Let's review that. Second time, I do something very similar. I don't think this follows what he hums there. That's my mine as a filter. I remembered the little melody that he hums the first time, and then the second time I did something similar. So what did I do? So again, from the top. And this time, somehow I am fingering this, so go figure. You can play this entire chord. The second time. Same thing. Major 7th to 7th. I do the same melody here, and then again, made up melody. What's worthy here to mention is this chord shape, which is another E, that consonant sound. And the way I produce it is by placing a partial bar on the upper 4 or even 5 strings. Let's say 5 strings, because then I also guarantee the B being played here on this 5th string instead of the A, which would sound bad. And then on the top, I have this triad, E, B, and G sharp. And then on the 2nd string, I have an incidental note, which is the C sharp, which is not a note that I'm seeking out. I'm not sure it fits great, but at the very least it's not a huge mistake. So if I hit it by accident, it's not the end of the world. Right there, it's kind of in there, but it doesn't bother anything. And especially when I finally play this E with my pinky, it covers up this note, so there's no conflict there, and I remain with this shape, and again it has the 9 on top, so it's kind of another kind of E add 9 chord. From the top, So to sum up this instrumental introduction, kind of hammer it on. And this is a good spot to mention that let's not forget that while we are playing a song and trying to play somebody else's composition and focus on what notes we're playing, let's not forget all the guitar articulation things that are at our disposal. We are playing guitar after all. So what are the elements that make this instrument unique? Well, hammers and pulls, vibrato, slides, and all manner of open strings, which we will be using plenty of in this arrangement, as you will see shortly. So let's make sure to always include things that make the instrument stand out, because we're guitar players, of course. So once again, summing up the introduction and finally moving on with the first verse.